Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well. In the part 1, we discussed Aman's educational journey, his in-college experiences, internships. If you haven't watched that part yet, make sure to watch it. The link is in the description. In the part 2, Aman will share his Deloitte story on how did he get this internship opportunity, interview experience, internship experience, work culture. So the whole video is going to be interesting. Make sure to stick around and I hope that this video would help you in your specific career as well. So without wasting further time, let's proceed towards the interview. Okay. So with this, we conclude the part 1 of the interview, the internships part and also your introductory part. So let's go over to the part 2 where I talk about your Deloitte experience, your Deloitte story on how did you get into Deloitte, interview experience, internship experience, also the work culture. So it's going to be very much interesting and very much inspiring as well to see how did you performed in kind of corporate culture. We talked about like your entrepreneurship experiences, that were great. But right now we'll dive into the Deloitte story. So let's start.
Yes, sure.
So the first question I want to ask you is, did you ever thought of getting into Deloitte?
To be honest, I didn't thought that I would get into Deloitte or any other firm. I was not very much sure that I really wanted to go for placements or not. But again, then it was a phase. Because as part of life, you get to write many stories. It's not just one story. It's a part of a book. So maybe this is one story that I'm actually writing right now. And interesting fact is that when I got placed in Deloitte, then after that I fall in love with Deloitte actually. Even after that day, it was like I got to like research even before my placement, research a lot about Deloitte. And the more I knew about Deloitte, the more I actually fell in love with Deloitte. So it was my story.
Great. Yeah, sure. So the next question I want to ask you is about like how did you get this internship opportunity with Deloitte?
So I got this opportunity as part of my campus recruitment. So Deloitte, my college starts its campus recruitment drive from third year itself, from the third year, the sixth semester itself. So and it goes on till eighth semester. So the final year basically. So Deloitte come among the first. Deloitte was first. Actually, I was in Taiwan. And when I came back to India, so this was my first company which I was sitting for, Deloitte. And it was my first interview and first company, and I got into it. So like it was really great. I didn't expect that I would get into. So I would like to add on to that. So they come for direct PPO. So it was not a mandatory internship. So but for CS guys, they wanted to teach certain technology and other stuff. So they asked us to come for internship before our joining. So that was the reason I got to intern as well with Deloitte, and then again join the same firm.
Great, and thanks for sharing that. That's a very important point which you mentioned here. Okay, like that, like giving like taking that internship opportunity, which I'm going to talk to you about in the next question. So like before getting the internship, there was an interview you had.
Right.
Okay, so I want to know more about like your interview experience with Deloitte. So it must include like what kind of questions were there, how many rounds were there, and how was your experience with interviewing with Deloitte?
Okay. So I would start with the first round itself. The first round was hosted on AMCAT platform. So it was a like MCQ based test where they test you logical reasoning, verbal reasoning, analytical reasoning skills. And it was the only test which they take during first round. So there were around 2,800 students on my campus who applied for the first round. And after that round, around 500 students were selected for the second round. So the AMCAT level of the test is not very difficult, not very easy. So it's a moderate level test, but there is a catch that there is a sectional cut of thing. So you need to be good at every section. So that's what they look for. And then again, when you clear the first round, they have like different set of things. They have for different profiles, they have different things in different rounds. So like they have case studies, just a minute sessions, group discussion, So the profile for which I was applying, I was asked to go for a just a minute session. So in which they gave you a topic, a random topic, and you have to speak on that topic for 1 minute. You need to present your views, you need to present your perspective and give a conclusion. So I got a topic called use of technology in healthcare sector, and fortunately I had a lot of exposure in that sector as well because of my Taiwan semester exchange, because they are very high tech in healthcare and all those stuff. So I spoke about it for a minute, and then I was fortunate enough to get into round 3, which was my personal interview. So my personal interview lasted for around, like, it was more than like around 30-40 minutes. So it was a mixed tech plus HR interview. So they started by asking saying basic questions like the first question they asked me was, do you want to go for an MBA? Because your profile says it all. You
Yeah.
are so active in extracurricular and everything. So I tried to be honest to the maximum that I can. So I told them that I want to go, but not at this stage. I want to explore management consulting, technical consulting domain, and I want to actually work with clients because I have experience of working with startups. I see this as like common similarity. If you are well versed in talking with startups, you are also well versed in talking with clients. So at this point, I raised, and then they were actually quite happy about it. And then they asked me about like my extracurricular, and they actually went on my resume. They asked every single point why I did that, what was the impact, what learning I got from into it. And then my technical interview got started. So I was asked, like, what my first question in the technical interview section of that interview was, which coding language do you use? So I told I use C, C++, Python. So then they asked me like, tell like pick up a question and solve it on the paper. So it was a dynamic programming question. So I solved that. Then again they asked me another question. Uh, Pick any more question which you recently solved and explain it on Blackboard, giving practical examples. Because we don't want theoretical concepts here. We want to give you practical. We want to see your practical application. So I chose a data structure problem and I gave them a situation. What if I'm not selected in this interview? So what if I'm rejected from here? So
Yeah.
I gave a like linked list problem that, okay, I am in the like node 1, and then I will be like, I would be removed from this node because I'm not into the selection pipeline. So then they were actually quite fascinated by my explanation and what will happen. Then they said, you took a lot of daring to say that you will be rejected out of this interview. Then they came up on certain like subject theoretical knowledge. They asked me questions from operating system, computer networks, database management system, basic questions. Then they asked me to write SQL codes. So that was pretty much about my technical interview.
Yeah. And then you were selected for the internship with Deloitte. 7 months of
Yes.
internship with Deloitte.
Yeah, so out of the 2,800 students who applied for the Deloitte job, they selected around 60, 70 from our campus who were offered a like PPO plus internship experience at Deloitte. So I was lucky to have that opportunity.
Great, great. If you were one of the 2,800 students, like I'm sure that they must have seen something or the other in you, and that's the reason why they like gave you this internship opportunity, and that's very much inspiring. Like the like the problem statements they gave you and how you actually like explained it to them, the way you explained it. Okay, and they were very much fascinated by what answers you gave, and that's the reason why you got this amazing opportunity. And taking that opportunity, it was also on you, just like you said, like you get an internship and a PPO. Okay, but taking that opportunity, getting interviewed, clearing the interview, getting the internship, doing the internship and getting the PPO, the journey which you shared is very much inspiring, Aman. And I'm kind of like, I don't think so I've met any other person who have done such a lot of things in his entire career. It's what I feel. Thanks for giving whole overview about your interview. It would help a lot of other students who are preparing for Deloitte and also like aiming or hoping to get into Deloitte someday. Okay, thanks for giving that insight. So the next question I want to ask you is about your internship experience with Deloitte. Like
Okay.
here I want to know about like if it was remote, like you also have to share that. But if it is kind of an in-office experience, how was your experience? Like how was your like working days like, and like an insight about your internship experience? Like in that 7 months, what did you do?
So Deloitte usually asks its interns to join the firm in January. We were asked to join the firm in the January itself, January 2020, and at that time the COVID pandemic hasn't started. So I was fortunate enough to work at the office location for like at least 3 months, like 2 to 3 months I worked there. And so I would like to share a couple of points for those who are like listening to this podcast. So when you join Deloitte, so you don't get the opportunity to select the technology that you want to get in. It's totally dependent upon your profile or your interview experience. So I was assigned to Oracle technology. Some of my friends were assigned to Deloitte Digital. Some of my friends got into some other technology or cloud or AWS, it's other things. So I was part of the Oracle technology as part of the enterprise resource performance service line, and initially they don't give training to everyone, but there are some training criteria or like some training programs for few service lines. Like for example, in my service line, we were trained on Oracle Cloud Systems, so we received like 20 days training on the Oracle Cloud platform and advanced SQL, Scala SQL, and other stuff as well. So it was a great learning experience, and they guide you, they give you like, and yeah. So coming on that part, so once I was trained, I was deployed into one of the projects as a shadow resource. So shadow resource is something that you are not part of that project, but you are shadowing some person in that project. For example, if you are working, I had to help you out. I had to see what you're doing, and I need to support you in any way I can, right? So I was working as a shadow resource for 15 days in a project, and then again, once you prove yourself in that shadow role, then they give you a direct client role, right? Direct client role in a project. So after that shadow role, I got a project role, a billable role, you could say. So I was working there as a Oracle Business Intelligence Analyst or intern, you can say. So so it was a really great learning experience for me, so to be a part of Deloitte as an intern for
Wonderful,
that 6 months.
wonderful, great. So you had an amazing experience here as well. Okay, and yeah, that kind of like shows like how Deloitte kind of is. Okay, from what you have shared. Okay, it's kind of an amazing company to start your career with, and it's filled with a lot of amazing people who are there, who are better than you, whom you can aspire to become like,
Yes.
and take learnings from them. And it was kind of an lifetime opportunity for you to get interned in such a company. And like fortunately you got 3 months in all, like to experience the office culture. But after that, due to the pandemic, everything was like every company was switched to remote working, and so you as well. Okay, and like the shadowing concept was also, I like the shadowing concept. Like you're not like entirely part of that project, but you are working under someone who is part of that project. You are helping him with
Yes.
the day-to-day operations, and you are helping
Mhm.
him in like in whichever technology domain he or she is working. Okay, and that's pretty much good. Okay, thanks for sharing that. So the next question is like, what were your roles and responsibilities as an intern for Deloitte? Like in this, I want to know how many hours a week you are working. What all activities did you do in that,
Okay.
in your work day?
So the people at Deloitte is what makes Deloitte so beautiful. So they are really helpful. They are very supportive. So everyone you reach out to on the floors, they will definitely help you. So if you have any problem, you can directly, without hesitating, you can reach out to them. So, and you will get a solution for sure. So the activities that I do totally depends upon the type of project you get. So if you are getting a, like, because as you told, right, because you can't do a same job 9 to 5 every day. So that's the beauty of consulting, you get different projects. So it's not this, and that's why I'm able to survive here, right? Because I'm loving consulting, management consulting thing, because the technical consulting thing, because you get different projects to work upon, you get different challenges. So a project goes for 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, 1.5 year, then you get a new project. So, and the activities of that project depends in which project you are working. So
Yeah,
for in my case, I was asked to build like Oracle SQL code, Java code, to send message receipts or something onto the client side. I was asked to work on generating receipts for a US based client in my initial days as part of the intern, and I was working for around 8 hours a day. It was part of my learning phase, and then again onto my coming to my billable project. So it was again for a US based healthcare client, and to be honest, during COVID, the expectations of a healthcare client is too much. Like you have to really be on your toes, because if anything goes wrong, because you don't want to do anything wrong first of all,
Yeah.
because the times are critical. So again, meet one thing that I learned is like meet deadlines, nothing else. You need to be on your toes.
Thanks for sharing that, Aman. Yeah. So the next question is, this is going to be a last question related to the internship. My question is, if you were given to describe your whole internship experience with Deloitte in one word, what would it be?
Networking and exploring. I would use two words actually.
Yeah, great. Yeah. So the next question is, like, you told me how the people are at Deloitte and why you still feel connected with Deloitte. So I want to know the work culture at Deloitte from your perspective.
So work culture, see, people at Deloitte, they value each other a lot. So, and they really care about each other's wellness. Okay, so I would just give one example how good the work culture is. I was suffering from some medical condition last year, and I got I didn't even ask for my project members or project leads to give me a holiday, but they themselves asked me to go on a leave and take some rest. So that's the kind of support you get from your project leads and managers. So that's something really, really good, and I'm really glad that I am working in such a firm. Apart from that, there is a concept that you work and you party. So that's the concept of Deloitte. So you work on days and then you go on party, you make friends. That's a really great culture. I love it.
Great. So from what I get from your perspective, you are like really enjoying the culture and spending time with people and interacting with people at Deloitte, and that's the reason why you're still connected with Deloitte and not like thinking of doing an MBA right now, because you're loving what you're doing actually. And that's what the feeling of connection with that company's values and company's people, that's what builds a long-term relationship. It's what I feel between you and the company. Okay, and thanks for sharing that, Aman. Yeah. So the next question I want to ask you is, what skills are required to convert your internship opportunity into a PPO at Deloitte?
Okay, so I would tell you very honestly. So when you are joining from a campus hire and when you are working at the industry level, these are very two different chapters. Even I can say that I knew many things in my college, but the actual things which are happening in the industry on the client level is totally different. So my bet will be on whatever they teach you, you need to learn that. So one skill that is very important is learning and growing. So learn as much as you can, explore as much as you can, and do give your best. And that's the skill how you turn in your internship into a PPO.
Great, that's a very good answer. Kind of. Okay, so learning and growing is kind of very good funda which everyone uses. Even I use it in my daily life. Learning from people, learning from people's experiences, and upskilling myself, growing myself in whatever like field I am. Okay, and that's, thanks for sharing that, Aman. So the next question is do you want to give some tips or advice for future aspirants or looking to crack your role at Deloitte?
Okay, so people who are looking to crack into Deloitte, so one thing that I would give a piece of advice is that be dynamic, be energetic, and be yourself, right? So also people who get into Deloitte, they are not into only one segment, right? You need to be dynamic. When I say dynamic, you need to be like in all the sectors. You need to excel in all sectors. If you are speaking, you should speak like a leader. If you are working, you should work you should really do some hard work, right? So you need to be good at everything to be in Deloitte. So if you need to also know coding, you need to have the business acumen, you need to have the professional personality. So that's the thing that Deloitte focuses on.
Thanks for sharing those points, Aman. It would help a lot of other students who are watching this video right now and taking inspiration from your story. So the next question is, what makes you a good choice for Deloitte?
My experiences, my learning, my academics, and my skill to observe and analyze things makes me a good fit for Deloitte. And I'm very happy that I proved it during my interview when I was given a real life application of a coding algorithm which I just learned few days back, and then I just analyzed and observed it, and then just like put it on the situation that was ongoing at that time, the interview situation. So I guess my ability to analyze and observe makes me a good fit for Deloitte.
Thanks for sharing that. And definitely you deserve being in Deloitte because it suits your profile. Okay. My next question is related to your current job role. Okay. So I want to ask you, like, how does the role of analyst suit you?
So as I said in my previous answer, I love analyzing and observing. So even in my current role, like you call every role at Deloitte, the first level role at Deloitte is analyst level, right? Associate analyst, analyst consultant, and so on and so forth. So and there are like certain areas where you need to work as an analyst. Like you can work in business analyst, technical analyst, data analyst, or maybe software engineering analyst. So I am working as a part of business slash data analyst right now. So and that's my experience of being an analyst here. Really love this job.
Great, great. Thanks for sharing that. So the next question I want to ask you is, like, who is your role model in your life or career and why?
Okay, so my role model is actually my father, because we at the level which I am right now, I'm getting a lot of privilege right now because of him. And at that time, he didn't had any privilege. He started from very small, and what I am today, what he is today, is because of him. So and that teaches me that whatever life gives you, you need to move on. You don't need to stop. Whatever the situation is, whatever the condition is, you always need to focus. You always need to do the hard work. There is no like supplement or alternative for hard work. So he always teaches me that, and I really follow that path. So my role model is definitely my father.
Wow, definitely. For me, my role model is my mom. So yeah, so for you, it's kind of your dad because he helped you a lot. And thanks for sharing that. So just 3 or 4 questions, then we end with the interview.
Mhm.
I know it's been long, but please bear with me for some time and we'll
Yes,
go over.
yes.
Yeah, great. So the next question is, like, what educational preparation would you recommend for someone who desires to become an analyst in future?
Okay. So as I said, to be an analyst, you first need to decide what kind of analyst you want to be. So talking upon the like technical expertise, so for different lines, there are different technical expertise that you can get into. But one skill that you need to have is that first you need to be like good at communications. You need to be good at analyzing and observing. You need to be good at thinking. So these are the three basic skills that you need in every analyst job. So and if you're working as a technical analyst, you need to learn your technology area. So also you need to be very well versed with the data things, right? So SQL, Excel is a must as well. And again, every technology comes on top of that, because first you need to represent, communicate the data.
Great. And thanks for sharing that insight. It would help a lot of other students who are watching your interview. Okay, Aman. So the next question I want to ask you is, who were your biggest supporters in your entire career journey up till now?
Okay, so my father, because he has
Yeah,
been like true motivation for me, as well as even when time I was suffering from depression, he was the one who supported me. Okay, you don't need to drop, you just go and have some good time like studying in a like, different college. It doesn't need to be IITs. You can do like as you said itself that IIT non-IIT doesn't matter. You need to realize that you can do it. So he was the one who taught me this. He made me realize that I can go much beyond whatever the IIT folks are doing, or I can match, at least I can try to match them. Okay, so that was my inspiration, and he has been my like biggest supporter till now.
great, great. And like what your father has taught you, you are kind of walking on his principles right now. It's what I feel. What I'm seeing from your
Yes.
journey, to have that hardworking mindset, that passion to like achieve your dreams, and like it doesn't matter like wherever you are, you can still make an impact. And that those great
Yes.
words which your
Mhm.
father told you, they are still in your mind and you are still following it throughout. And right now also you are following it. So it's great for like everyone has their own role model. Okay, but for you is your father, and I'm glad to know that. Okay, thank you for sharing. So the next question is, this is going to be our second last question of the interview. And I want to ask you, what are your goals and aspirations for future?
So I have different aspirations and different goals. So, and as I said that you are not writing a Mahabharat or Ramayana or जिसमें एक ही story है, you are writing multiple stories, and I do want to write multiple stories. I do want to create different stories, and right now I want to be in management consulting for some time, technical consulting, like gain some industry skills. Maybe again in some point of future I will go for some higher studies, and then again like decide between what I want to do. So my next story depends upon my previous story. So
Great.
as I see as of now, my next story is something revolving around higher studies, or like it will be probably higher studies right now.
Higher studies.
And then again after higher studies, I will see that it will be either entrepreneurship or again a corporate job. Let's see that. It totally depends upon what I get through my higher studies.
Great. Thanks for sharing that. And with this, we'll go on to the last question of the interview. And like I want to ask you, like you had some ups and downs in your previous career, and you like came up, faced all the challenges, you did a lot of extracurricular activities, and you came here, you got placed into Deloitte. So you had an amazing journey also, and also an inspirational one, where you faced a lot of challenges and you overcame all those things, and you are here right now. So what is the motivation you want to give to our audience?
Okay, so my motivation is that nothing is impossible, and there is no limitations to your passion, and it's never late to understand or realize that what you want to do in life. So always stay focused, and like even it doesn't matter if you're failing, it's never late. You can be there, you can be at a better place in future. So think of your future, think of your present, not past.
Thanks for sharing that, Aman. And I think that the people who are watching the video up till now would be inspired, would be motivated by your entire journey which you portrayed on this platform. And with this, I would like to end the interview. And I want to personally thank you, a big thanks to you, Aman, for your time, your valuable knowledge, and your experiences which you shared on this platform. It would definitely inspire a lot of other students and help them in achieving greater heights in their career. It's what I feel. And thank you for your presence and agreeing to doing this thing, this specific interview. I hope you enjoyed it, and I want to wish you best of luck for all your future endeavors, for all your like adventures which you are going to chase in future. I want to wish you best of luck. You'll definitely do good.
Thanks, Omkar. Thanks for having me on this show right now. And I would be happy, like even if one person gets inspired my like story, or even one person finds something insightful, it would be a great honor for me, a moment for pride, moment of happiness.
Great.
To be honest.
Yeah. I really enjoyed talking to you, and it was kind of the time we had. Kind of, I got to learn a lot of new things about your journey, and it was kind of very inspiring what you did. And like I think that after watching this interview, a lot of students would reach out to you like regarding the path they should follow, or like if they are stuck somewhere, they'll reach out to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so with this we'll conclude with the video. And if you are watching the video up till now, make sure to like the video, subscribe to this channel, also reach out to Aman. I'll mention the links to his social handles in the description box. So do check it out, do reach out to him if you have any questions related to getting placed in Deloitte, if you need any coding assistance, if you're stuck somewhere. He's active on LinkedIn, so please do reach out to him after watching this episode. And I'll see you guys in the next episode of interview series with another person from the industry who is there to inspire you. Until then, keep learning, keep inspiring, keep growing. Thank you.
Bye.